Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. I'm here with He-Man and Skeletor from the 2002 line. I don't call it the 2000X line. And, of course, we recently had the announcement they were going to do another line of figures, a cartoon collection based on the 2002 line. They haven't even finished the cartoon collection from the Origins line, let alone the actual Origins line. And it does seem a bit too much. We've also got Turtles and Thundercats. And they're doing the 2002 line. And I sort of thought, you know what? I've got most of these. I was going to finish getting the originals. They're around 6 inches. They kind of, I feel like they kind of go with like an alternative universe of the Origins figures. I don't feel like I really needed the Origins figures. I started to look at them and I felt they were a bit too simplified. They don't look, I feel like the actual cartoons had a bit more detail. I just thought they looked a bit more simplified and Filmation-ish. So I wasn't really sure about them. And then we find out they're not going to have mini-comics. And I'm like, why are they not having mini-comics? Of course, the Shields came out and right away and said, oh, well, the originals didn't have mini-comics, so why should these ones have mini-comics? Hasbro did nothing wrong. I'm like, no, they didn't have mini-comics in the original. They did have one comic. They produced 2, they only put 1 in, but they didn't actually have mini-comics with each figure, true. But they didn't just reprint the originals with Origins. They made new ones for the Origins line. They made new ones for the cartoon line. They made new ones for the Turtles. They made new ones for the Thundercats. So why can't they make new ones here? And they're like, oh, well, they need to make cost-cutting because it's got new tooling. I'm like, they should all be new tooling. That's not an excuse. So I don't know why the Shields are in, like, I don't know, I guess they're paid, I don't know. But the Shields are all coming out defending, you know, Hasbro did nothing wrong. I'm like, no, they should have the mini-comics. I mean, I know they've already got the cartoon. They don't have to establish a lore or anything, or a story, an explanation like with the Turtles and the Thundercats and the original line back in 1982. But still, they're part of He-Man. I know they didn't have them in Masterverse, but it was a different scale, different size, and they were also all over the place with our different versions and variants, and now we got the vintage line. And let's just talk about how many lines we've got here. It's like, really? They didn't finish Origins before they started Cartoon Collection. They didn't finish Cartoon Collection before they started the Sketchbook Collection. They didn't finish that before they started the, what's that one? We've got 2 Masterverse and Vintage, and then we've got the Turtles and the Thundercats. It's like, we've got too many lines happening, too much. I can't keep up. I'm feeling fatigued. I'm feeling like I just want to buy some Transformers or Smurfs or something other than Master Universe. I feel like I've been just struggling to catch up. And now I'm at to the point, I've got like 3 of the older figures to get. And now I'm just keeping up with the new lines. I'm just waiting for new lines to come out, basically, and specials and stuff like that. But it still feels a bit much. And I'm like, you need to finish off the lines you started and focus on each new line and give it the attention it deserves, including like mini comics and maybe some actual promotion. Yeah, so I think it's really disappointing. I don't think there's any excuse for it. It is just cheap, and I think it will hurt the line. I think it undermines it, because that's one of the reasons why I got into these, actually, because I looked at the toys, I thought, well, cool, but I've already got the originals. I don't want to buy them all again just because they're new with more articulation. But I realised they were doing mini comics. I'm like, oh, I want the mini comics. I want to continue my mini comic collection. I want to know what the stories are. So I thought, okay, I'll get 1 from each line. I start off with Beastman. If I get 1 from each line, and that way I can keep up with the mini comics, and I can get a few of the figures just to sort of add to the collection. And then when I started doing that, I realised I started getting ones I liked, and then I started getting the different versions. And then I started realising that they don't really blend with the originals because they're too old. Then I thought, well, you may as well just get all of them. So I end up collecting the whole vintage collection, the whole Origins collection, replacing the vintage collection with the Origins collection. And then I did like the cartoon collection because we always wanted them to look more like the cartoons, or I did. And then I skipped the Turtles altogether, pretty much. I got the Thundercats because one of the problems with the Turtles is you couldn't take the Eternian armour off and the original designs off and get just Origins versions of the originals, which is what people really wanted. They did that with Thundercats, so they learned from that mistake, and you could take all the new Eternian gear off, and underneath they were just regular 6-inch Thundercats, which I have up on my shelf now. But I did end up getting 1 Turtles because my battle armor had the old head from the old line, the original Origins design, which was just not good. So this one had the new head, and I thought, you know what? I kind of like the accessories, the little hood and cape and everything. I think I'll just get this, swap the heads over, and then I can hide the bad Origins original head design under the hood and everything, and under the mask, and I'll just have like one character, and then I'll get a mini comic as well. And then I started thinking, well, I kind of like Clam Champ and the Casey Jones. Maybe I can get a couple of them and get the mini comics as well. So that's even a reason to get some of the Turtles of Grayskull, so I can at least get one from each wave and get one of each of the mini comics, just so I can have that story as well. But yeah, I think it's just one less reason to get them. And I do think the line is pushing itself a bit thin with the recolors and like original designs that some of them are great, some of them really miss. So I just feel like they need to just pull back a bit, focus on one line at a time, and, you know, give us everything, you know, quality designs, you know, new tooling and mini comics instead of being cheap. And I feel that's what this feels like to me. But we'll see how fans respond. I'm going to go